All right, before we get started, I am, like they said, I'm a registered 3 and a registered Series 30, which just means that I took a couple of tests and got 70s on them. And I think I had to take one of them 2 or 3 times. That's how bad of a test taker I am and how bad at math I am. In math in high school and in college, I got D's as in dog, not B's as in boy. So, which means I'm just registered by the CFTC and the NFA, which doesn't really mean a whole lot to you. It just means I'm always going to say probably, or I'm going to say potentially. I'm never going to say guarantee anything. I cannot guarantee that you will be alive by the time this presentation is over, so I can't guarantee it. Make sure that you read CFTC Rule 4.41. Basically, what it says is I'm going to be teaching you some hypothetical and simulated stuff. So what we're going to talk about is theory first, and then during the presentation, I'm going to spend a little bit of time on PowerPoint, and then I'm going to go right to live charts, because I think you learn best if you look at theory like, all right, this is how it should work. Now, how's it actually working right now? And then we're going to go through actual live charts, okay? You should never trade with more money than you can afford to lose. Only trade with discretionary income, so that if you do lose it all, which you probably will, it will not affect your lifestyle. I like to take it a step further and say your trading career is probably going to end up like a bad country song in reverse. Your wife's going to leave you for your best friend. Your dog will die. Your kids will grow up and hate you. They're going to repossess either your Ford or Chevy pickup truck, and they're also going to foreclose on your either single wide or double wide trailer. Heads up, you're doomed. You're not going to make any money trading. Give me a yes if you understand the disclaimer I just read to you. All right, trading's very dangerous. Even if you know what you're doing, you could hit the wrong button and blow up your account. All right, cool. So now if the NFA or the CFTs come calling, they'll be like, well, he tried to scare him to death, so he did a good job. All right, my name is Hubert Centers. This is my no BS approach to trading and investing, and that's pretty true there. I'm pretty much known in the niche as the no BS guy. I kind of call him how I see him. Sometimes that'll get me in trouble with exchanges and or brokerages. I don't really care. I think I have more at stake with you than I do with them. So if exchanges or brokerages get mad at me and stuff, I don't really care as long as I'm serving you. All right. Now, like I said, you're probably not going to make any money trading and or investing. There are 3 major ways to build wealth in the United States. There's trading and investing. These are in no order. All right. There's businesses, B-I-Z, and then there's real estate. I think you should have a mix of all 3, so that if one of them, if you suck at one of them for a year or 2, the other one will supplement the other one. All right. So trading, investing, businesses, and real estate. I grew up in the coal mines of eastern Kentucky. I did not grow up poor. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I grew up in a middle-class family. Both my mother and father were factory workers at American standards, and they make faucets and toilets and stuff like that. They did give me a really good work ethic, so I mean that's one thing that they did instill in me. But I pretty much figured out there were only 3 decent jobs in Eastern Kentucky. You could be a coal miner, you could be a teacher, or you could be a meth dealer. That's the 3 things you could be in Eastern Kentucky. None of those 3 appealed to me. So I was like, I got to get out of here. So I went on a quest and started figuring out what other wealthy and successful and driven people were doing. And in the process of working a lot, and a lot of people are like, hey, how do you make $1 million? You work really hard at it, and you put in a lot of time, and it's just a grind. You can do it. Like I will tell you, like even though I'm telling you, like you're probably not going to make any money trading, I still believe that you got a decent shot. Deep down in my heart, I think everybody's got a shot. Now, it's not for everybody. You have to be like a certain type of person to make this work for you. But I've been fortunate enough to make enough money in all 3 of those in order to join masterminds and be part of a group of people that we all kind of come together and help each other. And these are just some of those pictures. This is a picture of me and Paula Abdul. She's actually about 6 inches shorter than that, and this is at one of our meetings. Super nice lady. This is Sir Richard Branson, and on these masterminds, you either have to pay an initiation fee, regardless if you get invited or not, and they're usually anywhere from $25,000 to $50,000, and then you have to be invited. And most of the people in the mastermind are either millionaires, multimillionaires, and I think we got a couple of billionaires that are in there. So I don't show you or say any of this to impress you. I show you and say this to impress upon you. If a little fat redneck from Kentucky can do this, you got a good shot too. You're just going to have to work your ass off the same way I did. So this is Richard Branson. You can see he's got longer locks than I do, but I've got more chins than he does in this photo, which means he's healthier than I am, which probably means I'm going to die of a massive heart attack before he dies. This is Mr. Wonderful. We got an email last week like, hey, can Hubert get my invention to Mr. Wonderful? I want to be on the hit show Shark Tank. No, I have no pull with him at all. You're better off trying to get on the show than having me try to get your product to Mr. Wonderful. And then this is Dave Ramsey. Dave and my companies do business together. This is me, the guy with the big square head right here. I'm in front of these 6 24-inch LCD screens, and I'm talking on this microphone. Now, unfortunately, I don't have that monkey suit on. I should say fortunately. I've got a pair of tennis shoes on, a pair of shorts, and a T-shirt and a hat on. Now, when I grew up as a kid, I watched a lot of Ghost of Mr. Chicken, Scooby-Doo, and Batman. And I always liked where there was always the portion of the show where there was the secret bookcase door. And I was like, if I ever make enough money, if I ever make it, I'm going to have a secret bookcase leading to the Bat Cave, right? So what I've got is in my house, in the basement, is actually where I run all of my businesses from. So how you get to the Bat Cave in my house is there's a basement. You go downstairs and there's this bookcase, and if you pull this book and press that button, it'll open up into a 1,500 square foot office that's got about 3 other rooms in it. So, and I know it's childish and immature, but we kind of like it. It's kind of cool around here, and I get into that type of thing. So congratulations, you're in the right place at the right time, and here's why. Now, obviously, you're here on this webinar to learn how to trade options. I'm going to show you a way where you can find really good weekly setups and or monthly options trades, all right? Now, you'll have a new opportunity to take your trading to the next level. If you are into candlestick charting at all, if you're a fan of those, you're really going to love this. So what does this work on? This works on stocks, options, obviously, futures, Forex, bonds, gold, and commodities. Now, the good thing for you when we take a look at the back testing model, now before I go any further, obviously I should warn you, we're going to have a little bit of fun. This is going to be a little bit different. I do not take myself very serious, but I do take my business and what I do for a living very serious. I just don't take myself very serious. I have never met anybody that's got out alive yet, and I don't think anybody gets out alive, so you might as well have fun while you're working hard, right? So here are the back testing results on the S&P 500 over the last 5 years. So this is going to dovetail really good with your options trades and your equity options. Out of 500 stocks, it worked on 430 of those. So it had a successful rate of working on the S&P 500 about 86% of the time it worked on those. So out of 500, it worked on 430 equities. That's pretty good. And that was the success rate on those. It would have returned you a 33% return on your investment if you took every signal, if you took every long, every short, every long, every short, every long. I don't recommend you do that. I recommend that you filter out, and you can increase your return from 33% to 79% if you remove the counter trend signals and you use a 3-bar confirmation. So here's what that means. If we've got a major uptrend like this, I don't want you shorting here and covering there. What I want you to do is letting that signal pass, and what I want you to do is buying the dips or buying the breakouts, okay? So first find the overall trend, and I'll show you a way to filter out those so that you can increase your return from 33% to 79%. Now, if you trade currencies, here's another backtesting model. It's been profitable on 29 currencies over the last 10 years. So that's pretty good. Profitable on 29 currencies over the past 10 years. That's if you use a daily, an hourly, and a 10-minute time frame. So time frame is very important, specifically when you're trading options, okay? So, and the two most popular things is you're going to be trading a weekly. You could day trade options, but not a ton of people do that. You can do weekly options, or you can do monthly options. So when we're looking at this, if you're trading options, if you're looking at a daily chart, then you're going to be in the trade weeks of a time, all right, weeks of a time. So you're going to be in the trade for 20 to 30 days because it's going to extend to the right 20 to 30 days. So if you're going to trade an hourly time frame, you're going to be in it for days at a time, so 3 to 5 days. That's going to be better for your weekly options. And then if you're going to do day trading, you're going to use a 10-minute time signal, and that's going to be good for 2 to 4 hours. Very, very important. Now, if you're trading leaps or something like that, you could look at a weekly chart, and you're going to be in that chart for months at a time. Everybody understand this? The most important slide in the entire thing is the time frame selection. What's your time horizon? What are you trying to do? How are you trying to skin this cat? No offense, cat lovers. But how are you trying to skin this cat? Are you going to hold it for a month or months, week or weeks, or days and a week, or are you going to hold it for hours? Now, this is what you want, is the #1 technique used in Japan. For 8 years in a row, it has been the #1 best-selling book on technical analysis, and it's designed so that you'll know exactly what's happening in seconds. It's going to identify trends and signals, and it's designed to produce very clear signals. And the name of it is Ichimoku. All right, now, no, I did not sneeze. That's actually what the indicator is called. I'm not here to sell you I'm not here to sell you an indicator. I'm here to teach you how to use the indicator, all right? And I've got a course on how to use it better. So I'll give you enough information where you could use it on your own, and then if you want to supplement your education, you can take my course. And if not, not a big deal. Do it on your own, all right? But this indicator is going to be on almost all good charting platforms out there. And don't worry if it's not on your platform. Before I'm out of here, I'll show you a free piece of software that you can scan for these trades. All right, the edge for you now. The cool thing about this indicator, which is substantially different than a lot of other indicators, is it covers these 3 main topics. It's going to give you what it did in the past, what it's doing in the present, and what it's going to do in the future. And most indicators will do past. Some will do present, but hardly any of them will do the future. So here's how it works. On your screen right now, do you see a black chart with a symbol on it right now? You should. Let me see here, make sure it's working here. All right, now it looks like everybody's seeing it, right? All right. All right. So the first theory of Ichimoku is if whatever you're trading is above this cloud, and this is called the cloud, C-L-O-U-D. Kind of looks like a little blue stream running through the chart, right? So that's the cloud, and the theory is if it's above the cloud, that's bullish, and if it's below the cloud, that is bearish. Now, most of the times it'll change color. Sometimes it won't, but most of the times it will. So you can just make some general observations already. You can say, all right, if this thing's in a valid uptrend, then this little blue stream is going to act like a mini trampoline. It's either going to act like a little fluffy cloud, and it's going to gently bounce it out of there, or it'll violently jump it out of there. So there's support holding. Here's support holding. Here it didn't do a great job. It went slightly below. So that one didn't work, but this one did. And then here you got another example of working, 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 working. Now, in the theory part, what this is telling you is it's telling you in this PowerPoint that the S&P at this snapshot in time should be going higher, and if it sells off, it'll come down here. This will be support, and it should bounce back off of that, okay? So that's the theory of Ichimoku. Now let's learn what all the things of Ichimoku do and look like. So this is the cloud, C-L-O-U-D, okay? The first squiggly line is this yellow line. It's called the turning line, T-U-R-N, the turn line, turning. Now, and we're going to show you how that's calculated. Now, as you can see, as long as it stays above the yellow, it acts pretty good, but we're going to call that first support. Now, if that breaks, if we've got the cloud, C-L-O-U-D, and then you've got the turn line, T-U-R-N, and then this is called the standard line. I'm just going to abbreviate with STD, all right? Standard line. So we've got the cloud, turning line, and standard line. If we were to break the yellow and the yellow did not hold, where's our next most logical place that we would probably go to? Yeah, we'll probably sell off and go down here to the 1909 area, that purple line. So what we could do is we could do a couple different things. We can say, hey, I'm long the S&P until it breaks this 1939 area. If it does that, my stop loss is either 1909, or I want to wait for a pullback to buy at 1909 and then use a tight stop loss. All right, we've got one more spot here left. Cloud, C-L-O-U-D. All right, we've got the turning line, the T-U-R-N. All right, we've got the standard line, the S-T-D, and then we also have the lagging line, L-A-G. So here's the past, P-A-S-T. Here's what's going on now. That's the present. And here's what's going to go on in the future. All right. So that's why this is so powerful. past, present, future. If this sucker breaks, it's going to break to either here or to here. So really valuable information. A lot of other indicators just won't help you out that much. They'll tell you like, oh, it's divergent, it's overbought, it's oversold. Things can always become more overbought and more oversold, so you have to be careful with that stuff. Let's go through how the calculation of this indicator is done. And like I said, here's how you spell it. If you have a platform, it's called ICHIM and then HOMKU. So it's ICHIMOKU. Ichimoku is how you spell the indicator. Most decent platforms have it. If your platform doesn't have it, it just means you're not trading on something that has a decent charting platform. You can always change. So the first line is the closest line to the price action, and it's called the turning line. It's a midpoint calculation of the high and the low of the last 9 days divided by 2. It sounds like a moving average. It's not, though, because here's how it's calculated. So let's say this is today. We're going to count back 9 bars, 9, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is the low of those 9 days, and this is the high of those 9 days. So what you do is you take these two numbers. The high was 465.75. You plug that in here. I've already got the math done for us. And then you take the low, 434.39. You plug that in here. You add those two suckers together, and you divide them by 2, and you should come out with 450.07. Now, the platform is going to do this for you. I'm just showing you how this is calculated. Why 9 days? That's just how the indicator is set up, Alan. 9 days works really good with the strategy, so that's why we're using 9 days. So that's going to be 9. Now, as we're going through here, remember the theory. So is this thing that we're looking at right here, is this bullish or bearish from what you've already learned? Is what we're looking at, and it doesn't really matter what we're looking at, is this bullish or bearish? You see how the price action is coming below the cloud and testing the bottom of the cloud and then the top of the cloud? So this is bearish, right? If this rolls over and breaks this red line, which is at 450.07, which it's probably going to do, so we would short it. We'd short with the break of 450.07. Where's our first target going to be? Our first target is going to be the standard line, which is 425.42. Does that make sense? We know this is overhead resistance. It's rolled back over. It's about to break first support and go to second support. All right, let's see how that calculates. The standard line is the midpoint of the high and the low of the last 26 sessions. You're going to take the high and the low of the last 26 sessions. You're then going to divide it by 2. That number is the midpoint. So here's how that works. So the standard line, so this is the turn line, T-U-R-N. Second closest line is going to be the standard STD line. And what you're going to do is you're going to take today, right there now, you're going to count back 26 bars. You're going to find the low, which is 385.10. You're going to find the high, which is 465.75. You add those two creatures together, should come to 850.85. You divide that thing by 2, should be 425.42. Boom, platform already does it for you. So if we break this at 450, because this line is 450, then we should go to 425. So now you know exactly what you're going to do. If 450.07 does not hold, heads up, we're going to take out 425. Good information that you can now use to select either your weekly option in this case or your monthlies. All right, cloud span A, midpoint of the turning line and the standard line shifted back 26 bars. All right, so here's how this works. You're going to take the midpoint between the turning line, which is the one that's closest, that was a 9, and the standard line, STD, which is a 26. So it's 9 and 26 midpoint average, not moving average. You're going to look for the midpoint between those two, and you're going to advance it into the future, 26 bars. Okay, same thing here. You've got the standard line, you've got the, the standard, you got the turning, midpoint, shifted, boom, you've got the top and the bottom of the cloud. Cloud span B, midpoint of the high and the low of the last 52 sessions shifted. So in this case scenario, we're taking this candle bar, we're counting back 52 sessions, take the midpoint halfway, and advance it into the future 26 bars. There's the top of the cloud. And that's how that works. So the lagging line is the last piece of the equation. The lagging line is just the price line close shifted back 26 bars. So in this case situation here, the lagging line is this blue line. So right now, as price is actually trading, we're shifting back that lagging line. That's why it's called lagging, because it lags price action. So if you take today's price action and you shift it back 26 bars, that's what the blue line looks like. Now, let's talk about the best signals to actually filter for this thing. Ichimoku cloud charting signals. When the lagging line crosses the cloud, it is the strongest but also the slowest signal to take. When the price crosses the cloud, it's also a very good signal to take, a little bit faster than the lagging line crossing. When the price and the lagging lines touch the cloud, they're usually counter trend signals. When the cloud spans cross, when they change colors from blue to green or from green to red. And when the turning lines cross, in other words, when the turning and the standard lines cross, we call it a crisscross. You only want to do that in the direction of the trend. All right, let's take a look at each one of these. So the lagging line is the slowest line. In this old chart of Apple, you can see where we had a massive uptrend here in Apple, right? Until the lagging line broke the uptrend, and at this point, you're going to short Apple around, 620, 630 in this area somewhere, right in here, right in this area. And you're going to hold it until the price action crosses up here or until the lagging line crosses up here. So if you shorted Apple from like 600 and held it to 480, that's a decent trade. Now, you missed this entire move here, and you missed the bottom from here to here. But what you got is the meat in the middle, which you can make a pretty good living off of the meat in the middle. You're never going to catch the dead high and the dead low. Stop trying to do that. I've been trading for 22 plus years. I've maybe done it 6 times. And that's probably being aggressive. I've probably only done it 4. It's very hard to catch the dead high and dead low of anything. All right. So let's talk about the second best signal to take is when the price action crosses the cloud either 1 to 3 days. 1 would be aggressive. 2 would be a moderate signal. 3 would be conservative. And if you get all 3 of these things crossing at the same time, and we have the lagging line crossing, that's a super good setup to trade. All right. So in this example, we would stay short once the price action went below the cloud, and we'd have to wait to cover either if 1 candle, 2 candles, or 3 candles finally got above the cloud. Make sense? All right, let's move on to the next thing. Next thing is when the lagging lines touch the cloud and when the price touch the cloud. So we've got a bearish signal here. We have figured out that the price has crossed the cloud, so has the lagging line. We're going to stay short. And you can see overhead resistance is this cloud. That's our overhead resistance. Notice that the lagging line touched it here, and the price action touched it there. That's a great opportunity to re-short things. Now, the less reliable but quicker signal is a crisscross trade. So crisscross is when the standard line and the turning line cross each other. So this is actually a short. I would not do that because we're above the cloud. I would wait until we got below the cloud with at least 3 bars, lagging line was following, and then after we cross up once, criss, and then cross, another good short. Criss, cross, good short. Criss here, and then cross right there. So crisscross, good little short setups. All right, bullish signals. When the price is above the cloud, that means you're bullish. Prices in the cloud are bullish if they come from the bullish side. So if they come from the above the cloud and then sell off into the cloud, that's a bullish buy signal. Lagging line crossing the cloud is a main signal of trend change. Price crossing the cloud is an earlier but less reliable warning of trend change. The price and the lagging line will often find support at the cloud's edges. Cloud span crossing may be a sign that the trend is changing. And be on the lookout for thick clouds after a run, could identify a trend change. Now, the bearish signals are the exact opposite. I'm going to put them up here on the screen as I get a quick drink, and then we're going to keep on keeping on. All right. So there's the bearish signals. Take you a screenshot there and write down the notes really quickly. So those are the signals. So what I want to do here, we've already talked about the backtesting results and them being hypothetical and how successful they were. 86% out of 500 equities on the S&P 500 worked on 430 of those. I've already told you all this. So what I want to make sure that everybody understands, we're going to be looking at daily hourly, and 10-minute in our time frame analysis. Now, multiple time frame analysis is very important. You get to pick your own. I like the daily, hourly, and 10-minute. Now, there are some important considerations for stop losses. I use the parabolic SAR or PAR-SAR. If I'm long, I like to use the bottom of the cloud. If I'm short, I like to use the top of the cloud. Now, I will also use the ADX to tell me if something is trending well or not. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to discard PowerPoint, and you should have a screen up of TradeStation. Do you see TradeStation in your shared screen mechanism? All right, cool. So let's do this. I'm going to go through a lot of the futures markets, and then I'm going to ask you for symbols, and then I'm going to show you a couple ways that you can scan for these on your own. Okay. So let's start out with the S&P 500 first. I'm going to move this little drawy thing here. All right, now let me see here. All right, at ES. Now, before we talk about this indicator, I want to talk about the one at the bottom. So everybody's got this available. It's called the ADX, the Average Directional Movement Index. All right, does everybody see this? So use this as a filter mechanism. If the ADX is less than 20, you don't want to trade that in most cases. All right. If the ADX at the bottom is above 20, that means whatever you're trading is trending. Now, I can show you with the S&P because S&P's kind of been a little bit of a nightmare to trade. You see right here where the ADX is above the green line, that's 20. That means it's trending. You see how the ADX is below the green line where it's red? That means it's non-trending. So choppy, ADX below 20. Trending, ADX above 20. Now, S&P 500, is it bullish or bearish right now? Based on what you've learned so far. So this is the cloud on a daily chart. So yesterday it turned bearish and it continues to go down, and that today the S&P is down 28 points. All right. So that's pretty good. All right, let's take a look. Now, it's not trending, but it's getting close. It's 1768. We need it to be around 20. Let's take a look at YM, which is what we're short right now. So why would we be short the why would we be short the Dow over the S&P, and our initial target was 16,800? Well, look right here. We had the candles close below the cloud. We also had the lagging line cross, and the ADX was above 20. Do you see that? So that's a good short, and we've got targets down below, and our first target's already been hit. Let's take a look at the Russell at TF. Russell, another really good short, trending well. The ADX is above 20. The cloud it has been taken out here. The price action is closed below the cloud. Lagging line's pointing lower, and our target was 1150. All right, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Oh, looky here. Brand new. All right, so it's not trending well. You see where the ADX is 1478, so I would prefer to trade the Dow or the Russell. SPY is the same thing as ES. So if you take a look at the at ES, it's the same thing as SPY. It's just in the futures market, so that's a good short, but I can do SPY. I think it's cash sign SPY on TradeStation. Nope, there you go. All right, SPY, what is it right now? It's 1825, so it's getting close. So it is starting to get close. Hold on here. There we go. All right. So we've got an ADX reading of 1825, and we've also got a nice little sell-off. Next support here for the SPY is going to be 190. All right. Let's take a look at crude oil in a lot of people's minds. Crude oil. Let's go at CL. Boom. All right. Crude oil. Take a look at this signal back here. You see where it called a sell signal back here? Nice little sell. Here was a buy. Here was a sell. And then there was a buy. Here was another sell. Hold on. That's not. Let me update my symbol here. Here we go. For my symbol here. That was corn. I knew it didn't look right. There we go. Aha. So here is a sell signal, and you stayed short all the way through this. And then you had one buy signal here, and then another sell signal here. And you can see that it's trending well. ADX is above 20. It's at 58.53. Trending lower. So on crude oil, it'd be a great short with a stop of 46.11 with targets down around $30. Can't get it on TradeStation. Says study reference more. No, you can get it. You're just trying to put it on the chart wrong, Bill. I'll show you how to fix that in just a second. All right, let's take a look at GC, which is gold. Gold here. All right, so this is a good teaching one. So we're in a major downtrend. We're below the cloud, and we've rallied above the turning line, above the standard line, and we smacked our head right into the bottom of the cloud. This is actually a decent short if we can get gold to roll back over with a target of 1120-ish. All right, so that looks pretty good. Let's take a look at the bonds at US. The bonds have been in a buy signal for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, for about the past 3 weeks or so. They've closed above the cloud. Lagging line is actually above. Let's take a look at one I'm looking at right now that's almost a good setup, but it's rolled back over on us. See how we had 3 or 4 candlesticks above the cloud? See how it rolled back over? So see how the lagging line did not confirm? So we had about 3 to 6 bars above the cloud here on coffee, but the lagging line did not confirm, therefore it rolled right back over. All right. So now you give me some symbols here. Give me some symbols and I'll go through where I think it's going. So at EC, do it in caps, please, in all cap letters, bold. EC is a long at 113.49, stop of 111, target 116. AAPL, Apple. Apple's pretty easy, right? It is crossed below the cloud. It's a short. It's trending well. Short Apple at 108, stop at 112, target 100. Let's see here. Facebook is a buy today. It's got a nice little gap down situation into the cloud. I would wait for a candlestick to close above the most recent low here. So in other words, we'd have to take out a high reading of 89.13 to get long, but it looks appealing with a stop of about 85 and a target of 95. Disney, DIS. Disney is obviously a short. It is trending. Look at the ADX. The ADX is above 20. That means it's trending. It has broken below the cloud and is just making like a mad dash. Now, heads up, we called this in our club, the HSIC Inner Circle Club, and here was the target that we suggested everybody use right here, around $95. So it's headed there as a straight shot. TSLA, Tesla. Tesla's a pretty good short, but it's not a perfect short. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars below the cloud. See the white line? We need that thing to come down here and confirm with us. So it's a short, but it's aggressive. At British Pound, the BP. British Pound is non-trending. The ADX is at 1522, but it's a better long than short. JDST. Okay. This is a aggressive short here at 845, stop of 1015, target of about $4. Lagging line needs to confirm. SWKS. Is this all making sense how we're doing it? Ichimoku means at a glance. So at a glance, you should be able to figure out something pretty quickly. So this is a short with a stop of 84.88 and a target of about $70. LSV is a short, and the lagging line is confirmed, so you would short it. Stop would be 51.57, and target would be, oh, Lord have mercy, what would the target be? I'm going to have to go back further in time in order to do this. Target would have to be $40 on that one. Go back to a daily here. How do you know the targets? I do it based upon how much I'm risking, Alex, and I do it in my head, but I teach it in the class. What are the time frames you are using on the charts? I'm using the daily right now. BLDR. All right. So this is a good long. It's trending. Stop of 13.95 and a target of 17. CAT, Caterpillar. Caterpillar is trending. The ADX is above 20. It's below the cloud, so Caterpillar is a good short with a stop of 77.24 and a target of $70. GILD. Ooh, aggressive long. 1 bar below the cloud, but the lagging line looks like it's going to confirm. ADX is a little low at 18, but you can probably get away with this one because GILD's got a good beta. That looks really good. Stop of 112, target of 100 even. NFLX, Netflix. Netflix is a buy here at its support on the cloud with a stop loss of about 100 and a target of 120. Amazon, AMZN. Amazon. On Amazon, I'd wait for a buy at 450. See the cloud right there? I'd let Amazon, it's crossed below the turning and the standard line, which means it's going to drop to the cloud, so I would buy it at 450. PCLN, Priceline, I would wait for Priceline to drop to 1200 before I would buy it. All right, let me walk you through, like if you don't have, well, first let me show you how I do this in TradeStation. In TradeStation, you can actually filter for this stuff in real time. So, and if you're trying to put it on TradeStation, here's one trick that you have to do. Right-click, Format Symbol, and then you have to go to Style. Well, hold on. I did it wrong. Right-click, Format Window, and then what you want to do is go to the General tab, and if it says you're trying to reference too many bars, under the General tab, spaces to the right has to be set to 25, or it won't let TradeStation apply it to your chart. All right. Now watch what I can do in TradeStation. I can go like this. I can go right-click. I can go Insert Label Row, and then I can go right-click, and I can go Insert Symbol List, and then I could come in here and go, all right, I just want to know index components, Dow, S&P 500. I can just load all those in there. Then I can come in here, and this is a 5 minute, so they won't exactly match up for me. So I can change it pretty quickly. You go Format All Symbols, change it to Daily. All right. And then I can add Ichimoku to this. So I can go right-click, Insert Analysis Techniques, and then from here, I can just add Ichimoku, and then just hit OK. Pow. And then what it'll do for me is I can format this and tell it to look for only the ones that have crossed recently above or below the cloud, okay, which is pretty powerful. So if we were going to sit there and go, I can go click, and then I can say, look, these are newly below the cloud. And those are in the cloud, newly below, newly below. Look how many newly belows we have in the cloud. And I can format it to filter for stuff that is newly above or below the cloud. So let's, based on S&P 500, let's go here. Look at newly below. Look how many newly below ones we have there. That's pretty cool, right? And you can say new above or new below. Now, if you don't have TradeStation, then what you can do is you can go to STOCKCHARTS. Is everybody on stockcharts.com right now? I'm going to click on stockcharts.com. I'm going to scroll down to the right here, these little blue boxes, and where it says additional tools, predefined scan results. I'm going to click there one time. And then I'm going to scroll down past trend indicators, past the candlestick patterns, down here to the bottom of candlestick patterns. See where it says Ichimoku patterns? Then I'm going to hold my control key down, and I'm going to go moved above the cloud, move below the cloud. That in and of itself should tell you something. There's 64 new stocks that moved above the cloud, and there's 422 that moved below the cloud. What does that mean? That means we're probably going lower. Now, you can also use TradingView. Yep, TradingView is good too. And then what you're going to do is you got to wait for them to do their math. It's a free service, so you get what you pay for. It's free. It's going to be a little bit slow. But what it's doing right now is it's crunching, and it's going, all right, here are all the things that moved above the cloud, and then I'm going to filter those based upon their volume. Okay? So if I filter based upon the volume, and it's still working. Okay, here's the ones below. Filter by, oh, here's one, American Airlines. All right, it's trading at $30, so you can go, this one moved below the cloud. I can just click on this chart button right here, and I can come down here and go simple moving average, change that to Ichimoku full, change this to none, and then hit update. And now I can see, look at here, American Airlines today moved below the cloud. Now we already know American Airlines was bearish because it was below the cloud. It went into the cloud and crossed back below the cloud. Can you filter by ADX? Yeah, you could filter by ADX in TradeStation. You could just put ADX, and anything above 20 you could filter for, yes. Does that make sense? Can that all be done free without subscription? Yeah, I mean, I just went over to StockCharts and just did it free. So you could definitely do that. I don't have a subscription over at StockCharts. I just did it free in front of you. So here's volume, here's ProShare. Let's see if there's AVR, PIMCO. See if we can find something decent here. Want something that's got some size to it. Let me see here just a second. Volume, ProShares. There's FAZ. That's looking good. Mint. Let's see here. I'm trying to find something that makes sense for you that we can chart. There's a lot of bad ones. Lots of them. So you can see how many you've got there. And all we did is we filtered by volume, moved above the cloud. So there's not a lot of really good ones above the cloud, but boy, we've got all kinds of them that move below. So we've got all kinds of them, 435 really good trades to the downside. So here's Citigroup. We can do Citigroup, and we can do the same thing. We come in here and filter based upon Ichimoku full, based upon none, hit update, and you can see Citibank cross back below the cloud. That's bad for Citibank. Does it make sense to filter by candlesticks, bullish or bearish signal? You don't have to, Bill, but you could if after you've got it above or below the cloud. That's not bad. Do you consider upcoming earnings on stocks? Yeah, I mean, you want to be careful and know if you've got something that's got earnings or not, because they could, gap up or gap down against you. All right? Yes, it can all be done without a subscription whatsoever. All right, so I'm going to take this off. Somebody wants me to look at Tesla real quick. TSLA. Tesla is a moderate short here because the lagging line has not crossed yet. If the lagging line would cross, then Tesla would drop like a stone, probably to about 220 to 200. Yep. IDCC. IDCC is a great short, trending well. ADX is good. It's a short with a stop of 49.38 and a target of about $40. Yep. All right, I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. Does that make sense, what I just showed you, how you use it and how useful it can be? Does the thickness of the cloud matter? Yes, sometimes it does. When you speak of moving through and touching the cloud, must it go all the way through before confirming? Yeah, you want it to close below the cloud. Yeah. IDC, 2 major legal court events coming up should be negative. Nice. All right. All right, let me move on to the PowerPoint, and then I'll do live charts until my time is up. All right, let me get through this part, and then we'll go right back. So success stories. The course was awesome. I've taken one bond trade and made over $900. Do you think I'm happy? I just entered the bond trade, shorted again, where I took profits earlier today. After you made me greedy for possible further drops, I'm happy dancing. This is the first time I've had successful trade during a course. I have the hardest head in the world. You couldn't have made it simpler, Mary. Another success story. Dude, thanks. You're likely the only reason I have kept at it with trading, and now that I'm profitable, I can't thank you enough. It was really great, and I can't wait to attend your gold trading class. Thank you so much for all you do, Greg. Here's another one from Ron. The webinar series was a great experience, very informative, educational, and lots of fun, but that's no surprise. All your courses have been great learning opportunities and great values. So I am asking you if you want to join and be one of our next success stories. So who is this for? If you're serious about making real money in the markets, Ichimoku is a proven system that works. If you can follow a simple set of rules and directions, and if you know that your success is tied to you taking action and not me taking action for you. And now, who is this not for? If you're a holy Gale seeker instead of Grail seeker, obviously I can't type. You don't have to be perfect in order to make money or trade. So if you're a holy Gale seeker or Grail seeker, probably not going to work for you. If you suffer from hopium, or if you're a guru surfer, or if you can't make a decision, or if you like to make things more complicated for no good reason, if you think you're going to take this strategy and with a $5,000 account and in 2.5 months have $1 million, probably not going to happen. So I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm talking about reality here. All right, so let's take a look at what all happens here. There's 3 types of people in the world. There are those that make things happen, there are those that watch things happen, and there are those that asked what just happened. Hopefully you're in the top 2 groups, and if you are, here is a fraction of what you will learn in the #1 best-selling Ichimoku course in the English-speaking world. It's 7 proven setups that I'm going to share with you on Ichimoku, trading rules and indicator settings, checklist with cheat sheets with entries and exits. I'm going to give you stop losses and targets, how to scan the markets with Ichimoku, how to filter out the best trades so that you'll never guess what to do next, and how to avoid the head fakes. Sorry, TD made me laugh. He said, "What just happened?" LOL. That's pretty funny. All right, so you have 0 risk at all to you. All right, it's 100% satisfaction, no questions asked, guaranteed. If you don't love it, I don't want your money. Period. I always over deliver, and my goal is for you to get 10 times return on your investment. You could take the whole course, find some really good stocks and or options trades, and just say, it's a great course. It helped me make some money. I just don't like Hubert's thick accent. I can't understand that hick. And I'll still give you your money back. All right. So let's take a look at where you need to go. You need to go to realtraderswebinar.com/Hubert, and I'll tell you exactly what you get. All right, I'm putting the link up in the chat box right now, in the Q&A box too. So here's what you get, and you don't call the number because I don't have anybody staffed here to call the number. Let me actually remove that really quick for you because we're just going to take that down real quick so you don't have to deal with that. If I can remove it really quickly as I'm doing this. There you go. All right, so Ichimoku Cloud Charting Secrets is what you're going to get, which is a value of $197. How to use Ichimoku candlesticks so you want to always use Ichimoku technical analysis with candlesticks. It's going to just make you more money. And I'm going to give you 4 follow-up webinars, a value of $97, which will be live, and 1 day of live trading. So the course is on demand. So this first part, Ichimoku Cloud Charting Secrets, on demand. You can watch that at your own pace. How to use Ichimoku with candlesticks, also on demand. You can watch that. And then we're going to have 4 follow-up webinars, 1 a week for the next 4 weeks. And then I'm going to let you come into the live trading room for a day, and you can watch me do this stuff live in front of you. All right? That's a value of $488. Your special offer today, $97 only. If you go to realtraderswebinar.com/Hubert, there is a catch. It's only for the first 50 people that order, okay? It is only for the first 50 people that order. Now, I don't usually have to sell this thing too hard because it kind of sells itself. So what I'm going to do is that link is right here. Say yes in the chat box if you can see this. realtraderswebinar.com/Hubert. The rest of the time, I'm going to do nothing but take symbol after symbol after symbol, okay? And that way I'll give back to you without you even giving me anything, all right? So I'm exhausted at the end of the day. Can I get this in the future? Can I focus better? Yeah, DG, you should be able to. All right, so give me some symbols, and I'll go through these, all right? So just only thing I ask is you put them in all cap letters because GoToWebinar software, it looks like it's got like an 8-point font, so it's kind of hard to read. So I wouldn't touch HCN. Here's why. The ADX is at 13. You need it to be above 20. Now, if you had held a gun to my head and said, all right, what would you do with it if you're not looking at the ADX? All right, let it close 3 to 5 bars above the cloud and let the lagging line go, but it's still probably not going to go anywhere until the ADX gets above that. So it's looking like it's about to be a decent long. You just need to keep an eye on it. All right. Here's your link right here, realtraderswebinar.com/Hubert. Integrated oil down, RDSA. Now, if I don't get to your symbol, just keep putting it in until I get to it. All right, let's see here. INFN, because there's a lot of people in there asking for it. So this is actually a decent buy here with a stop of 20 and a target of 23. ULTA. All right, let's see here. ULTA, I would let it sell off to about 160 and then pick it up. It's in a valid uptrend. It's broke first support. It's going to go down here to the cloud, and I'm not sure it's going to hold the top or the bottom of the cloud. So what I would do is I'd put a bid in at 160 with about a 2-point stop loss and a target of 170. IBM is a great short, stop of 153, target of 140. CMG, great little long once it hits 707.82, broke the first yellow. It's going to go down here to the standard line. We pick it up at 707.82. Stop would be 700 even. Target would be 739. Is Disney a buy yet? No, Disney's not a buy yet. No. Disney is not a buy. All right. Disney is still a sell, and it's going to go through 95. There's nowhere that Disney says it's a buy ever here. It's still a short. Yeah, it's a sell big, right? Pandora. Let's take a look at Pandora. Pandora's a decent buy here. You see how it's crossed above the cloud and then it's broken back below the yellow. I'd pick up Pandora here at 1646 with a tight stop loss and a target of 20. What is the best way to use this intraday? Best way to use this intraday would be use it on multiple time frames. You could use it on either an hourly chart or on a 10-minute chart. Both of those will work really good for intraday trades. SPY, I've already did. It's a short. SPY is a short. It's below the cloud. It's going to go to like 194. Your stop would be 205. It's probably going to drop down to like 190-ish. At Nikkei, the Nikkei. Nikkei is a short. As of today, it's probably going to drop to 18,500. GOOGL. GOOGL is a good long, but let it drop to about 640 to 630 before you pick it up. See how it's broke these first two lines? It's going to go to the cloud next. Could you still go down to a 5-minute or a 250 tick? I wouldn't go any lower than a 5. I wouldn't do a 250 tick chart. That's just a little bit too fast. NFLX. All right, I'm about to run out of time. I think I have 7 more minutes. Keep the symbols coming, and I'll keep talking. Does everybody see the link here? realtraderswebinar.com/Hubert. And I'll answer them until they say, all right, you're out of time. All right. So there is the link. All right, who we got up next? UA. If I don't see your symbol, I'm not being rude. You guys are just hitting me with a lot of them. All right, UA is going to be a good long once it hits the top of the cloud. UA is going to continue to go lower until it hits the cloud. Looks like that's about $87 with a tight stop loss and a target of 95. GPRO. Before we go any further, did this information help you? Do you now see where you can look at a chart and in an instant know where, all right, it's a buy, it's a sell, and if it's a sell, it's probably going here, and if it's a buy, it's probably going in there. All right, cool. All right, Baidu. BIDU. Baidu is a good short. It's below the cloud. Overhead resistance is at 163. That's your stop. Your target's going to be about 120. SPX bottom. I'm not a fortune teller. There's no way I could tell where the SPX will bottom at, but I'll try. SPX bottom. SPX. Well, my charts are not working now. Hold on. BABA. Here we go. BABA has been a short, is always a short, and is going to go lower. Look at that. It just calls it perfectly. It's been a short back here since February, and then it's a short here. Oh, it was a buy here, and then a short. It's going to go lower. It's going to go through 60. Stop at 74.15, target at 60. Do we need to use any other indicator? I use the ADX to complement to tell me whether it's trending or not. So here you can see if the ADX is above 20, it's trending, and I know it's trending lower because it's below the cloud. Netflix, what is your thought? NFLX. Well, it's not so much my thought, it's Ichimoku's thought. I like Netflix here because it's bouncing off of the cloud, right? I would have to actually wait for it to close. If this was the low of the day and this was the high, I would let it close above 110.19. I would be long there, and my stop would be 105, and my target would be in the 125 area. Will you teach option strategy in your course? No, but you should be able to pick your options. In the course, I just teach you how to find these great trades. If you want to do them in options, all you got to do is just pick your strikes, and you're good to go. If you want to just know about options, there's plenty of guys on here. Pick up one of their courses. Yeah. Is the course live? The first two parts of the course are pre-recorded, and so that you can watch them on demand. And then the 4 webinars are live, and the live trading is obviously live. No, it's just a one-time fee of $97. It is not a recurring subscription or anything. $97. Yes. It's just one-time fee. Kors, K-O-R-S. All right, we got 4 more minutes. Kors is a good short. It's just bounced into overhead resistance here, bumped its head into resistance. Stop of 43.05. Target is going to be these most recent lows right here at $38. Boeing, are the webinars recorded? The webinars will be recorded and posted in the resource area. Boeing is a good short. It's below the cloud, 133, stop of 138, target of 120. GD is... well, interesting. Hasn't touched the cloud yet, so it's either going to have to touch the cloud or close above 147.78 above the standard line in order to get back up to the 155 area. So yes. Is Ichimoku on TOS? Yes, Ichimoku is available on TOS for free. 80, yeah, and the ADX here is below 20, so I wouldn't mess with this until the ADX got above that. Good eye. Who caught that? ADX. Good job, Alan. NBR is a great short with a stop of 11.20 and a target below $10. Let's call it $8. VRX is ADX is good, so we're right there. An aggressive short since it broke below the cloud. Lagging line looks like it's going to confirm. Stop of 236 and a target of about $200 even. Okay, doke. Is there another similar indicator to the ADX if you don't have TradeStation? Well, ADX is in almost every single platform, so ADX should be everywhere. If Ichimoku for swing trade, what is the time frame? It will convert. If you're swing trading, use a daily or an hourly. Daily or an hourly. And swing trading could be 3 to 5 days, which would be an hourly. Or if you're going to hold it for longer than 3 to 5 days, I would use a daily chart. All right. It's 11:58. I was supposed to speak till 12. Any questions? You guys good? I hope this information helps you find better trades. Remember, you can use stock charts, you can use TradeView. I use TradeStation, I use TOS. It's really good. It works on all those. Super, super easy way to find some really good trades that you can develop into some good profits, either stocks, options, futures, or Forex. All right. Good luck. Hope it helps. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.